Good morning, peoples. Let's jump in here on YBIT and BITO. Few things to tell you on this scenario. BITO announced its dividend, as I've gone through in great detail to explain to you, a derivative on a derivative, and why YIELDMAX thought it was going to be a low payer, and then they changed their game, maybe to mess up um, they're a big company, ProShares, a big ETF fund, but maybe they didn't really want um, Yomax to get a footing. They're obviously doing great on Misty and Coney, and to have a quote more direct play by being on top of Bitto. Um, I like it as a Bitto shareholder, but again, it's you talk about NAV reduction. They get a lot of NAV reduction also. Um, but when you add back all the dividends, so they are paying $1.44. I didn't even look at the yield, but one could do that. Let me put a formula in here for a second. Equals 12 times 1.44 divided by this number. When you're not seeing what's there, didn't like something. All right, let me go out and establish a cell here and have it have a color in there. So that equals the sum of 12 times 1.44 divided. So that's a 76.15 yield on BITO. Again, I'm taking the closing price on their declaration. They don't do like YIELDMAX does. So, YIELDMAX tells you what the NAV is, or sorry, they tell you what the declaration is pre-market on declaration day, so you can buy that day. So that's an example of a younger fund, a young and growing fund. They want people to see it, chase the high yield and buy in, right? How do you get growth? How do you get assets under management? If you're pro shares, you're already one of the top 10 or 12. Last I saw, Yomax was like 46. So they're growing, but there's a big difference between 12 and 46 in assets under management. And again, I don't know the number for ProShares. They could be 10, but they're clearly up in the top. I've looked at this list and they change subtly. And um, so anyway, they have upped their dividend game over the last 5 or 6 months. And they did it right before YBIT was launched. But looking at the history when YIELDMAX and everybody planned to bring YBIT out and applied for it, they knowing they were going to do it on BITO, that dividend was 12, 13 cents, and now it's dollars, right? So interesting. So this will play in. I'll keep this here for a little bit and then get rid of it. But so the effective and why I bring this up is they always have to plan once a month. They always know that the declaration date is either the last day of the month or the first day of the next month. So again, it fell on the last day of the month and they announce after the market closes. So you really don't have a chance if you want to buy knowing you're going to get it, then you would have had to buy on 731 before they announced because now they're already into ex dividend. And at least that, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I own some BITO, but I haven't added any in a while. And then they pay on 8/8. We being YIELDMAX declare on 8/6 for August, and we pay on 8/8. So I've always seen the lag with BITO and when they declare and when they pay. So don't hold me absolutely that you can't buy and get BITO. Look it up, but I believe that's how it works. I'm pretty sure the declaration day was yesterday, and hence ex dividend falls the next day. But don't absolutely hold me to that because I'm reporting on YBIT, not really BITO. I'm just telling you. Um, so 76%, and that'll come into play. So what happened today? Well, we did have one single trade in YBIT. We bought to close 1,080, 2450 contracts, right? So a strike price of 24.50. Well, that always looked good because we're trading at 22.95, closed at 22.69, right? We've been at 23. But the reality is it opens tomorrow morning at 21.25 in the pre-market. And then the market takes over, right? Where do I get 21.25? Same way I plugged in $1.44 here, and I didn't bother to, put the pennies after that because they're fractions of pennies. I just simply created this number by saying take 22.69 and take away. I'll put the real closing price, whatever it is, but for the example of showing you what the yield would be if you're buying it. And actually, their yield could be a little bit higher because, well, you wouldn't get it today based on my thoughts that it's ex dividend. So that's why I'm using 22.69. All right, so we close that out for 3 cents. No big deal, right? I mean, we didn't lose much. We got to keep, we had 43.2, and we got to keep 39,000 out of the 42. Now, we also have this guy at play, but honestly, it's 24. Knowing this thing's going to open at 21, 25, I don't see it being at 24. There's little to no risk there over the next couple of days. So let's go look at the numbers then. No shares traded, uh, nothing bought. They just simply closed out, right? So the shares owned is the same. And again, YBIT is because of the NAV reduction from its almost inception. But again, I bought some BITO when it was paying a little bit and it was close to 30, back in March. And it's done nothing but decline. It hasn't made up that gap, but it's paid nicely. I've collected $6 or $7 worth of high payouts all the time. So I'm okay with it. When I first got it close to 30, I wrote 3 month out some 40s and collected, $2 or $3. And it was never any chance. I think it went as high as 33 and a half or something. So BITO keeps up with BTC, but only by adding all the dividends back in. It also has NAV erosion. Okay, so let's go look at the weekly. So what remains are 24, and a lot of them, right? So we have 596,000 we collected, and with 2 days to go, yesterday it closed at like 11 cents. Well, with this drop in BITO, I think you will see the drop in the amount of money. So we should win that. Um, so let's go to our holdings and go through everything. There's that in more detail, right? We could buy it back for 277 on something. We collected 25 cents if you go look, and then it's 11.6. So we should win that. But again, that money's already included. We dropped our synthetic down because it's running out of time 2 weeks from Friday, tomorrow. I can say now because I'm doing this pre-market. Um, and so you see, this went the wrong way, and now we're coming down. Okay, this was that example. I always show this. The 5 payouts back when they were considering it for 5 months from October to February of 2024, they paid a total of 84 cents across 5 distributions. The last 5 distributions, not counting the 144, okay, were 682. So now I could push one back. There's nothing magical about 5, guys. I just used it because it tended to be the larger ones. And then it was $1.90 in the 5 before that. And then there were 3 months where they paid smalls also. So even this isn't very big. We're talking about 30 cent average. 40, not quite 40 cents, so around 37, 38 cents. And then this is averaging 17, 18 cents, right? 18 cents um, times 5 would be 90. So it's right about that 17 and a half. Okay, guys, I don't want to belabor all that. Um, so I think we've covered everything. We are trading at, let me check this math and see if I updated everything correctly. 3659, yeah, I do not know why that's showing such a discrepancy because I'm using YIELDMAX's net assets for the closing and I'm also using the proper shares. And so that math is being done correctly. And it's showing 661, and I'm showing us at 1628. So in that sense, we're 33 cents discount. All right. So um, let's go look at payouts. That's all we really have left that counts. So our situation is, luckily, we have enough reserve monies by rolling out of that 35, which was just way too out of the money, to a 28, and even staying flat, getting closer to the 816 expiration. We've got that down to 13.7. Well, 13.7 on 36 is still a fair amount of money, right? That's looking like, let's see, $3 would be 10.8. $4 would be 14.4. So it's around 350 a share, but we're losing 292 here, but we're carrying 741 forward from when they were writing all those calls out when it was a 35. So I don't see a problem. I think they're going to target us if we're at 1628, who knows exactly what our price will be. And I'm correlating us to getting about an 80% yield. So I think they're going to pay us in the $1.09 neighborhood. Okay. And the reason they have the money to pay us is in the carry forward money that they've collected. Now, again, this is almost 4 a share. So when you add it to 3 there, but they will win these weeklies and then they'll write some more weeklies. So I think $1 to $1.09 is pretty reasonable, guys. Obviously, I would like BTC to wake up and get going. Um, all right, guys, that's what I got for you. So that's YBIT and all the little nuances with our friend Bitto. So anybody that owns it, you'll get your payday on 8/8, which is exactly the same payday that YBIT and all the single stock funds will get. And our declaration date is a reminder, is only 5 days away, right? It's next Wednesday. Next Tuesday is declaration. Okay, guys, that's what I got for you. Bruce out. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, for fun and entertainment only. All right, guys, have a great day ahead. Bye.